The tides are shifting. And if you know anything about the wonderful world of streaming, you already know why. And if you don't know anything about what's going on currently in that realm, and you decided to click on this video instead of the ones that have millions upon millions of views at this point, let me elaborate a little bit. And if you're a subscriber that clicked on this video because it's the most recent one I've posted, there's going to be no games. Obviously, it's a little different than what I've been doing and what I tend to do, but this is a subject that I'm pretty passionate about and I think is really important to talk about when it comes to the future and current landscape of streaming and content creation. Plain and simple, Twitch is screwing up. And personally, I think they're screwing up big time. And I believe that other streaming and content creation platforms are about to reap the benefits in droves. I guess this video can be divvied up into 3 parts on how I'm going to discuss this whole thing. First off, I want to talk about some of the controversies and decisions Twitch has made recently and more so in like the last couple months. Secondly, I want to talk about what does Twitch really have to offer and what other sites have to offer as well for your content creation needs and viewing content. And finally, I want to talk about the future. What does all of this BS, what does all of this crap mean for the future of content creation and where maybe you're going to find yourself streaming or watching streams? So let's delve into the controversies, and there's a lot of them. Now, I'm going to try to keep these in chronological order as best as I know and as best as I can, but somewhere along the line, it's probably going to get out of whack. I know I said over the last couple months, but realistically, for the last roughly year, Twitch has had an awful time PR-wise. I bet you their PR team is putting in hundreds of hours a week. I was going to say billions, but that's literally impossible. Who knows? They actually might be doing that because it has been that bad. In my personal opinion, it all kind of started with Gideon hate rating Pokimane. And if you don't understand what that really means, it means that essentially he sent his community over to Pokimane's stream. He rated out to her and basically told them to be pieces of shit. They were spamming, sending terrible messages in chat. Obviously, Pokimane's mods had a field day trying to keep all this under wraps, and it got to the point where Poki actually had to end stream because she didn't want her community to be harassed or be in harm's way from these hate raiders. Now, Gideon got permabanned. That then, I guess, elicited the help of Ninja and Ninja's wife, Jess, which I don't know why that's your knight in shining armor with blue hair. To each his own, I guess. In the end, as far as the beef goes and as far as what actually transpired, besides the hate raid, not much really happened. Gideon ended up apologizing, and him and Pokimane even recorded a mukbang video, and he apologized on there as well, saying that he was like it was not intentional. He was angry at the time, and he wasn't trying to be like a dick and start something that big. And according to the article that I saw, they appear to be on good terms. So I guess not under the bridge, but it seems like things have kind of smoothed over. However, Gideon's still permabanned, and that's kind of gotten a lot of people in an uproar. Like, why is he still permabanned when all this was kind of cleared up? I understand that it was a bit of a prank and a not good one and a pretty hazardous is what I'm going to go with. A hazardous prank. But things did get smoothed over, so I would have suspected that maybe he just gets the permaban lifted. He's been gone off of the site for months now because of this hate raid. But there are other things that have happened that maybe should deserve a permaban, but have only gotten short ones. And Gideon's sitting there with just hands up like Ricky Bobby and Talladega Nights. Like,
I'm not sure what to do with my hands.
But that's just me. Now, speaking of the things that have happened that deserve, I think, longer bans than the perma bans. If you haven't heard of this one, buckle in. A female streamer decided to go and get her rocks off via a sexual partner on the internet, on Twitch specifically. Yes, this streamer decided to have sex on camera. Now, it wasn't full-blown like some of those P-word sites that you're going to see, but some super sleuths on the internet decided to look at the reflection in the window and could very clearly see a man going to town. Obviously, that's a bit against the guidelines of Twitch. So they banned her for 7 days. So you send one hate raid, which by no means am I sitting here saying that's a good thing or even better than having sex on camera. But you send one hate raid and you get permabanned. You have sex on camera once, which is very blatantly violating the guidelines for sexual explicit content, and you only get 7 days. That's interesting. Well, a lot of people on the internet also thought that was interesting and that she should be permabanned and Jidion should be back, or Jidion, if Jidion's permabanned, she should definitely be permabanned, and if you keep them both off, I mean, it fits the crime, I guess. She has only gotten a 7-day ban. Well, she only did get a 7-day ban. She came back. And what do you know? She had sex on camera again. And this time, in my opinion, it is way, way less inconspicuous. You can very blatantly tell what's going on. Me, as a 23-year-old man that has the internet, I've seen plenty of things. And that is sex on camera, for sure. Now, I'm not going to play either of the clips. You can find them on your own time. I'm not going to show them. Not because I have some moral high ground against them, but because I don't feel like that's really my place to do so. And as of recently, a couple more controversies have come up. Mizkif, which I would say is kind of a poster child of Twitch, one of the big head honcho streamers on the platform, got into a bit of hot water and a bit of trouble. And by a bit, I mean realistically a lot from the internet. He got in trouble because he decided to try and advocate against gambling on Twitch when that was a big hot button issue recently. And he tweeted out some things, and I guess some of his tweets tickled the wrong people the wrong way. One of those people being Trainwrecks. And Trainwrecks being another big streamer on the platform and one who has been known to not really have a filter when it comes to things, especially verbally. He went scorched earth on Twitter and called Mizkif out for some hellacious things. Things such as Mizkif covering up alleged sexual assault of a fellow streamer, which was done and perpetrated by his roommate, I believe, if not very close friend, Crazy Slick. Realistically, I don't really know how close they are, but I'd say close enough because I do believe that they lived together. There's some evidence circling around the internet that shows pretty clearly that Mizkif was trying to hush it and keep it under wraps so that Slick could maybe not get fully canceled and ruin his career as a streamer. It went as far as Mizkif getting a couple friends to talk with the person who was alleging the sexual assault to maybe get them to talk a little bit more kindly and not be as, I guess, honest about the situation. Obviously, this came back in a very, very bad way on Mizkif. He has since apologized, but then again, I don't know how much an apology can truly do. And also, while this was all going on, Mizkif, who has been very honest with how he's been in the past when it comes to language that he's used, and the language in particular of slurs, whether it be racial, religious, sexual orientation based, whatever kind of slur you can think of, probably came out of Mizkif, either his thumbs or his mouth. Because Ice Poseidon, another content creator, actually leaked DMs of him using some of these slurs, or a lot of these slurs. So it's just not a great time to be Mizkif, and I guess as a poster boy for Twitch, it's not a great time to be Twitch at the current moment, because on top of all these ones, you have the biggin recently of Slicker, another big Twitch streamer, scamming, I think, between 50 and 100 people out of somewhere around the realm of $400,000 to fuel a gambling addiction. And a plethora of smaller kind of controversies that have happened over the site. You could Google it. I did that, and I looked at a lot of different things that have gone wrong on Twitch in just the last year alone. It's a laundry list. It's a lot of shit. A lot of things are not going their way. However, in the midst of all of these bad things happening at Twitch, one good thing did happen. Twitch ended up banning gambling completely. Well, at least prominent sites that were used on the website. Obviously, they've been getting pressured about this for a long time now. And obviously the pressure was increased more with Slicker scamming his mods, other streamers and friends, and his viewers out of nearly $400,000. That's normally going to add a little bit of a, we should probably take care of this ASAP. But at the end of the day, that was a good decision to take gambling off of their site. That was a classic Twitch dub. And by classic, I mean it's been so long since they've realistically caught one of them. Their decision-making process has been terrible. Yes, taking away hosting, maybe not the biggest issue or the biggest thing, but it hurts creators. It hurts small ones that are trying to bust through. I know when I would get hosted and rated by bigger streamers, the hosting would help because it would kind of give me another avenue to reach a new audience. So it hurts the small ones, maybe not the bigger ones, medium-sized ones, whatever. But the small ones, it hurts. The ones that are maybe like the next echelon, the next wave of big streamers, they may never get a shot because they have less exposure. But I'll get off my soapbox. Another poor decision they made was even the discussion of dropping the revenue split. They actually fucking cut the revenue split. They cut it. They cut the revenue split. Now, while reading the letter from the president of Twitch, you pick up on a couple things. Yeah, so today, September 21st, Twitch announced that they are cutting their revenue split for their partnered streamers. What does this necessarily mean? Now, what the cutting of the revenue split actually means was detailed in a letter from the Twitch president, Dan Clancy. So if you're watching this video and you are, 1, a Twitch partner, 2, you currently possess a 70-30 split through Twitch, which is known as their premium deals, and 3, make over $100,000 in revenue off of Twitch, then this truly affects you. You get that 70-30 premium split until you make $100,000. After that, Twitch is going to a 50-50 split. Now, reading around about it, someone did the calculations saying that this is going to be roughly a 29% revenue hit for these top streamers. 29% is actually a lot of fucking percent. Yes, they're still well off, but that's still a large takeaway from Twitch. That's 29%. Most people don't tip that much on a $20 food bill. Now, it's not effective immediately, but it is effective as of June 1st, 2023. Now, in the letter, they did address that this doesn't affect about 90% of the streamers on Twitch. But what they said after kind of just shows that they don't really give a shit. What they said after is that if it does affect you, just run more ads. We boosted the ad splits so you can run more and still make money. Like, I get it. They have a business to run, and they have agendas to push and quotas to hit. But come on. Run more ads is your solution? We're taking away incentive to grow and become a big streamer on our platform. And if you are a big streamer on our platform, we're basically telling you that we don't care and we just want more of your money and more of your hard-earned revenue. Sorry if all this came off as kind of ranty. I get very upset about stupidity and just dumb decisions. And when they're made by companies who claim to know what their people want, when it's directly against what their people want, it angers me even more so. So sorry if this came off as like a little bit of a rant. Not my intention. Well, kind of my intention. I wouldn't be giving my opinion if I didn't feel passionately. And when you feel passionate about an opinion, sometimes you rant. So abrupt end. That's all I'm going to talk about on the controversies because I'm getting way too angry at Twitch's decisions that they've made on all this stuff. So we're just gonna go to the next. Now let's look at what Twitch realistically offers compared to other websites like YouTube, Facebook. When it comes to content creation platforms, there are two OGs in my mind, and that is Twitch and YouTube. Despite everything that is said, anyone will agree with this. Well, almost anyone will agree with this. There's probably a couple of y'all haters out there. Twitch is the single best place for streaming content. It is the best chat interaction, it is the best as a viewer, and it is very, very easy to do as a streamer. And YouTube being the other OG, but YouTube for the content side of it, not streams, but for the videos. Their process and platforms for videos, medium form content, if you will, or even long form, because they have like fucking 24-hour videos. That is unrivaled. Both of them in their own right are like, you will not get any better than those As far as I'm concerned, Twitch right now is a one-trick pony. And the only trick that they have is streaming. If you look at Twitch other than streaming, and you look at like, oh, there's short form content and clips, or, oh, you can go back and watch VODs, and you can edit stuff up in Twitch in their creator dashboard and their creator editing thing. You can do all that. No, you can't. And if you do, you're wasting your time. Clips are nice when it comes to your community. So you all have like, you guys remember this? Other than that, clips mean jack shit. Clips don't realistically help with discoverability nearly as much as anyone probably thinks. And as far as I know, you don't get paid for having a high viewed clip. It's just kind of like, oh, it was a high viewed clip. Nice. And as far as the VODs go, I mean, hell, half the time they might be muted because you like listening to some Kanye, or you like listening to some Lil Wayne, or Katy Perry, or fucking Fleetwood Mac. I don't care. Or they're just unpublished because there's too much copyright in them. So as far as I'm concerned, the one big thing that they have, and the only thing that they have, is streaming. Hell, to me, I'd say Facebook is even more fully encompassing. Facebook Gaming, their live streaming platform, actually isn't too bad. From what I've heard and from what I've seen, it's not that bad. It's actually pretty decent. Videos on Facebook, I think, are in a better place than what Twitch's video possibility is, because I don't know if you're like this. I know I'm like this on YouTube a whole hell of a lot, but on Facebook, sometimes I'll see something pop up in my feed. It will say, oh, UFC knockout, and I'll watch it, and an hour later, I'm watching Mark Rober train a squirrel how to get a nut out of a spinning house. Shit happens, but that's more than I can say I've gone down a rabbit hole than I ever have on Twitch. The video portion of Facebook is in a better place. It's decent. It's average. In Facebook Reels, I've seen people do absolute fucking numbers off these Reels. Reels are phenomenal. Reels are very good for short form content. As opposed to clips, they're not going to help you out that much. Things on Facebook may not help you out a ton, and also it's fucking Facebook, which they've also had their entire existence be filled with controversy, so they're not perfect either. But I feel if you look at them as a whole, they're in a much better place, I think personally, than Twitch is. I think they're set up for success, or at least to build off something that looks like success. Which finally brings me to YouTube. I think in a matter of a couple years, Twitch is going to be a hollowed shell of what it used to be, and YouTube is going to be right at the top in everything. You look at their live streaming. Yeah, it's not quite where Twitch is, but it's getting better, especially when you got Ludwig and his coding genius automated, making extensions to make it more like Twitch and to make it more inclusive and a better user experience. That's dangerous. So live streaming on YouTube is getting better. They're making strides to catch up to Twitch. They're, like I said, their video platform, their videos, the medium form content, it's OG, it's unrivaled. You'll never get anything as good, in my personal opinion. And then you get to YouTube Shorts. YouTube Shorts are going up. They are bouncing in the right direction. One, they're basically TikToks just on YouTube. I mean, fuck, I repost a lot of my TikToks on my YouTube as shorts, or I have. They lead to growth. I have friends that just post shorts and they have more subscribers than I do. Also, they just made it so that you can gain revenue. You get a revenue split off of your shorts. Granted, it's not a ton. It's a 45-55 split. You keep 45, they get 55, and obviously you got to be a YouTube partner and have the monetization available. But that's a start. That's more than you'll ever get on Twitch. I don't know if they'll ever make it to where like clips and stuff like that add into your revenue base. So I think YouTube's on the up and up with that stuff. Which, that being said, leads me into what does this mean as for content creation and streaming as a whole? Like I said, I think YouTube's got next. I think YouTube is about to make tremendous strides, and they're going to make even bigger strides with all of the new people that they have coming over. I mean, hell, it seemed to start with Tim the Tatman, then you got Dr. Lupo, then you have people like Ludwig, who's bringing over all of the offline TV people, it seems, and they're starting to get all these groups together. Then you have people like FaZe Swag coming over. Ninja's going on every single platform, but who knows, he might sign an exclusivity deal with YouTube. You never know. And it seems like with how adamant he is that Twitch is doing fucked up shit and doing the wrong moves, Who knows? Maybe Moist Critical comes and joins his good pal Ludwig and brings over more and more people. Bottom line is that Twitch is making a ton of bad moves, and they are making a ton of bad decisions, a lot of them very quickly in time here. I don't want to say that they're past the point of no return, but at this rate, it's like they're making a rock wall and climbing up it, and each move they make is taking away another rock. So I would not be surprised, nor do I think you should, if you see perhaps your favorite Twitch streamer cross the pearly red line and move over to YouTube. Well, anyways, if you've made it this far in the video, thank you. Thank you for sticking around, hearing me out. I don't normally do this, but I want to do more of this because I'm a very rant-based person. If you ask any of my friends, specifically, if you ask one WinkingOwll, I'll link her stuff down in the description. If you ask her or my good friend K Brew, Keegan, if you ask him, I'll link his stuff down below because we have a podcast together, and that will also be linked down below. But if you ask either of them, I'm a super rant-based man. I go off. I want to get into more rants, more real-world ideas and opinions, not just gaming, because I mean, it's a hobby, but I want you guys to know me. Anyways, if you have made it this far, leave a comment down below what you think of the whole thing, where you think the landscape is going to go with streaming and content creation. If you feel inclined, maybe hit that like button. And if you haven't already and you maybe want to see more from me, more rant-based stuff, or you want to check out some of my gameplay and some of my games that I enjoy, think about hitting that subscribe button. It helps out a great deal up here and in here. But anyways, it is late. I've been doing this way too long, and I need to go. So I'm going to end it right here. Peace out, guys.